Solve multi-step equations with variables on both sides of the equal sign. So let's look at number 1. Again, the equal sign divides the equation into two parts. We have the left side and the right side. I have 3y's on the left side and I have 8y's on the right side. Now what I want to do is get y all by itself and find out what y is. In order to be able to do that, I need to decide which side of the equal sign I want to keep my variables on. And the choice is simply up to you. There are certain ways that could possibly make things a little bit easier as far as working with positive and negative numbers or not working with negative numbers when it's not necessary. For instance, I'm going to decide to take my 3y's on the left side of the equal sign and I'm going to send them to the right side of the equal sign. And how am I going to do that? Well, I notice there's no sign in front of the 3y. That indicates the 3y is positive. So I'm going to subtract the 3y's from the left side, making that go away. And if I subtract 3y's from the left side, I must also subtract 3y from the right side. Bring everything else that's still in the equation that's still left, bring it down. Notice this minus sign here in front of the 20. That must come down with the 20. If there's ever a minus sign in front, bring it down with the 20 or whatever number it may be. Here we have 5y. Now we have 5 being multiplied with y, so we want to divide by 5. Divide by 5 again, and we get y is equal to negative 4. Number 2, I have 3a's on the left side of the equal sign, 1a on the right side of the equal sign. I'm going to subtract 1a from the right side of the equal sign, making that cancel. If I subtract 1a from the right, I must subtract 1a from the left. And notice I keep saying 1a. If there's nothing in front of the a, there's always what we call an understood 1. There's always a 1 there. So 3a take away 1a gives me 2a equals 22. 2 and a are being multiplied, so I do the opposite of multiplication, which is division. So I divide by 2 on both sides, and I get a is equal to 11. Number 3, whenever you have a set of parentheses like this, and inside the parentheses we have an expression like 8 minus y. You could have something like x plus 4 or z minus 2, something like these, where you can't simplify it because you don't know what the missing value is, well, you don't know what the variable is. What happens is this 4 is right outside the parentheses here, which indicates multiplication. So what we want to do is use the distributive property and distribute 4 inside the parentheses, multiplying it to each term inside. 4 times 8 gives us 32. 4 times a minus y gives us a minus 4y equals, bring everything else back down. Now we're in the same shape as we were up here to start with on numbers 1 and 2. We have variables on each side of the equal sign. Since my variables are positive over here on the right side, and I have a minus 4y on the left side, I'm going to choose to add the 4y to each side. This makes this go away. Now, you could have chosen to subtract 2y from both sides, and you still would have gotten the same answer if you do all the operations correct. Sometimes making all of the calculations positive numbers, it makes it a little bit easier for you. So I bring down everything that's left, so I get 32 equals, remember my 4y's went away, a positive 6y there, plus 16. Now since I've already committed to put my variables on the right side of the equation, I'm now going to take my constants, which are the numbers without the variables, and put them on the other side of the equation. So I had 16 being added, so I'll subtract 16 from both sides. And I get 16 is equal to 6y. Create some room here. So I have 16 is equal to 6y. So I divide by 6 on both sides. and I get that y is equal to this fraction 16 over 6, which reduces by a common factor of 2. 2 goes into 16 8 times, and 2 goes into 6 3 times. So we could call that 8/3, or we could find the decimal approximation, or equivalent, using the calculator. 2.67, we'll round it. Approximately 2.67. So let's try one a little bit more challenging. We've got decimals. So I've got the 3 right outside the parentheses here, and I have 2y minus 0.3 inside, which means I need to distribute the 3. So I get 3 times 2y is 6y. Then I get a 3 times minus 0.03. 3 times negative 0.3, not 0.03, just 0.3. And I get negative 0.9. Bring everything else back down. Now I have, again, variables on the left side of the equal sign, variables on the right side of the equal sign. Since my variables over here are already positive and these are negative, because a minus is basically the same thing as a negative, I want to add this y to both sides. And remember, it's a 1y that I'm adding. This goes away, bring everything else back down. 6y plus 1y is 7y. The minus 0.9 comes down, equals comes down, and 19.4 comes down. Now, still trying to get y by itself, so I have this 0.9 that's being subtracted from the 7y. So I want to do the opposite of subtraction, which is addition. I want to add 0.9 to both sides. Instead of the calculator, I just do the addition. 4 plus 9 is 3. Carry the 1. 10. Carry the 1. 2. Bring down your decimal. Equals 7y. Now 7 and y is being multiplied, so I want to divide by 7 on both sides. And use my calculator. .9. So y is equal to 2.9.